Hello guys, do you know that one of the most important minerals of the body is known as calcium, which is required for cellular communication, cell signaling, neural transmission, muscle contraction, release of hormones, action of hormones, and many more functions. Even you are distinguishing calcium as one of the most important because it is also associated with energy homeostasis. And almost all the cellular functions are dependent on calcium. That makes the calcium as one of the most dynamic elements of the body. Previously also I told that calcium is associated with coagulation of blood or clotting of blood. Therefore, regulation of calcium plays a very important role in the regulation of physiological functions of the body. But do you know that the calcium is 9 to 10 milligram percentage in the blood, which is considered to be normal? If calcium concentration increases by 10% or decreases by 20%, then the calcium abnormalities are being seen. When the calcium concentration is increased, hypercalcemia is seen, the neural depression starts. And if calcium concentration is reducing and hypocalcemic state develops, then tetany-like symptoms are seen. That means neural excitability is seen. So what I am interested to say you people, I am just saying that the level of the calcium or the concentration of the calcium should have to be remain in a very constant level in the body. And that constancy is maintained by the dynamic roles played by three important hormones of your body. Nevertheless, other hormones are also associated, just like the corticosteroids, the hormone like gastrin, the hormone like growth hormone, the hormone like thyroxine. They are also indirectly associated with the calcium homeostasis. But the most important role is being played by the hormone secreted from the parathyroid gland, which is known as parathormone. Second, the hormone secreted from the thyroid gland known as calcitonin or thyrocalcitonin. And the third, the important, that is the vitamin D3, which activated to form the hormone known as 125 dihydroxycholecalciferol or the calcitriol. These three hormones play an interplay, a triangular role when hormone like PTH or calcitonin are concerned, they are said to be antagonistic, means they function in the same regulation of the process but in opposite physiological pathways. Similarly, we have to remember some hormones are there which facilitate the action of others, and they are known as the synergistic hormones. Here I cannot say that the parathormone and the calcitriol are synergistic, but the functions are interdependent. So with this very brief introduction to the calcium homeostasis, let us understand what the calcium is, from where the calcium comes, how the calcium is deposited in the bones, comes out of the bone, how the calcium is playing the important role in the regulation of muscle functions, nerve functions, cellular functions, signaling processes, and hormone actions. So with this very background, let us dig into the details of the calcium homeostasis. So before starting the details, I need to say that 1000 milligram of the calcium is the daily intake, out of which the 35% of the calcium is absorbed along the intestine. 65% of the calcium, that is around 650 milligram, is coming in the feces. Along with that, around 250 milligram of calcium is coming from the gastric intestinal secretions and slugging of the mucous lining, and that comes in the feces. Around 100 milligram of the calcium is coming from the urinary tract. So this makes the calcium homeostasis to be remain in a very fine-tuned manner. Secondly, we should have to understand the calcium is mostly present inside the bones as the reserve. More than 98% of the calcium is said to be inside the bones. That means only 1 to 2% of the calcium is extracellular oblique intracellular. So I will form a partition where I will show how the calcium is behaving. Similarly, we should not forget that the calcium in the body exists in three forms. One is known as the bound form, which is bound to the plasma proteins, which is almost around 40 to 41%. And this is non-diffusible. This calcium is not utilized by the cells for their functional activities. Another 9% of the calcium is present in combination with anions like the phosphates. and that forms the buffering action, but they are not going to be utilized as they are non-ionized, they are non-diffusible as well as. The third one is the ionized calcium, which is most important for cellular functions, and that count for 50% of the calcium. 0.1% of the calcium is present inside the cells and 1% is present outside the cell, and 98% is accounting inside the hard tissues like bones. So can you think the dynamicity, how the calcium is playing the regulatory roles inside the cells? That means there is a fine tuning is existing between the sensing structures of the body and the plasma concentration of the calcium, and no doubt the kidneys, the intestine, and of course the blood plasma level, they are playing very important role. Sometimes with respect to the reduction in the calcium level, means when the blood calcium level decreases in the blood, there is secretion of hormone is there so as to elevate the calcium level to become to the normal level, and sometimes the hormones are secreted when the calcium level is rising so that they will be secreted to mobilize the calcium from the blood towards the storing sites. So is it not fascinating? Is it not fascinating to know how they are being regulated? So this makes the calcium homeostasis a dynamic event, and the pure role of the hormones are visible with feedback regulation mechanisms. So I have made 3 lectures for you people, part 1, part 2 and part 3. Part 1 is this introduction which is almost over, but the part 2 which is going to show how the calcium is available in the body and what are the different structures which are secreting which kind of hormones which are regulating the calcium. And the third part where we will see if the calcium level is rising or the calcium level is falling, how the body is playing the sensing role so that the hormones will be secreted and they will regulate the calcium level in the normal physiological limits. So let's begin this lecture with a very brief introduction to the calcium and how the calcium is playing important role in body functions. Calcium, I can write the ionic calcium in the form of calcium plus plus or calcium plus 2. It is one of the major ions and it shows around a physiological limit of milligram per deciliter of the blood. So this is the normal level, and if I can send in the millimolar level, means how much of the calcium is being present in the blood level, then I can say it is 2 to 3, that means around 2 to 2.5 millimole of calcium. So this is the normal level of the calcium you are seeing. So dynamically I can say this calcium is associated with neural transmission. This is important. We can say it has a major role in muscle contraction. The third is the cellular energetics. The fourth is the immunological functions. Immunological functions like phagocytosis. Next, the coagulation of the blood or the blood clotting. Next, it also mediates hormone secretion. It also mediates hormone signaling. This is another important point. If I'll say the neurotransmitters, yes, it is also associated with release of neurotransmitters, and also it regulates motional parameters of cells. Motional parameters of cells. That means this makes this calcium very important element inside the body, and therefore the calcium regulation and calcium homeostasis play a very important role. Then how this calcium is being present in the body? As I told, this calcium is present in 3 forms, and that makes this calcium very dynamic. The number one, what I am saying, that is number one is the calcium which is known as bound calcium. We should understand what do you mean by bound calcium. That means the calcium which is bound to albumin or the plasma proteins. This is the calcium which is bound to the albumin or the plasma proteins, and this is known as bound calcium, all around 41%, and this calcium is non-diffusible. That means it cannot be utilized for the cellular functions. Non-diffusible. The second one is the anionic calcium. That means the calcium which is bound to anions. This is the phosphates, the citrates. It is present bound to the anions. It is almost 9%. And this is also non-ionized calcium, non-diffusible calcium. That means it cannot be utilized for the cellular function. And then I am coming to the third one, that is the important, that calcium which is important for us for cellular activities, that is ionic calcium. This ionic calcium is almost 50%, and that calcium is utilizable. This calcium is free. This calcium exists in ionic form. This calcium is said to be diffusible. That means this calcium is going to be utilized. And this is the calcium which brings out the cellular function, the cellular signaling mechanism, and all those functions which I have written. So being a student, we should remember that yes, these are the three levels of the calcium which is present in the body. And this calcium which is present in this as ionic form, their regulation plays a very important role. And here the role of the hormones come into play. So with this very brief introduction, let us dig into the further details that how the calcium level is being regulated. So I can write few more important points for you, that is the extracellular level of the calcium. Means how much of calcium is present at the extracellular level, that is around 0.1 to 0.2%. This is one very important point. Then intracellular calcium, that means the intracellular level is around 1 to 1.2%. Okay, I am writing here 1%. And the most important point is the stored form of calcium. And this stored form is mostly inside the bones, the hard mass. It is more than 98% of the calcium. So guys, with this very brief introduction, we came to know that the calcium plays a very important role. So stay tuned for my next lecture, where I am going to discuss what are the three hormones which are tending to regulate the calcium level. So stay tuned. Thank you very much for your learning.